EX Turk, and ooh, look at the color. It looks a lot better than last time. I don't know what I did to the color, but it looks a lot more realistic. But anyways, besides being realistic, this is another reaction to Final Fantasy product. Now, again, sadly, this is not a console game. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is a Steam only game. So if you have a good PC and you can run Steam games at 1080 at really good high resolution graphics. I mean, these look more like PS2 graphics if you ask me, but you pretty much would have to have a good computer to run a Steam. And I'd recommend getting Final Fantasy Mobius on Steam. I mean, if I had a good PC, that'd be the first things to get. Also, this is brought to you by Dragon Ball Z Incense. If you like Dragon Ball Z or anime, or you just like to light incense up, these are some traditional Japanese flavors with the pictures of the characters on there. There's if you didn't see it, but let's get to the reaction now. I'll post it in the link below. Oh yeah, I think I know what's happening. This is where you're gonna be able to get a Sephiroth class outfit. Pretty much, it's actually gonna be a class system, and after you beat Sephiroth, you actually get to earn Sephiroth as a character to play as. But this is supposed to be the final battle, if you remember, because this is where they fight Genova, and then they go down below to fight Sephiroth in those forms. This is pretty cool. I want to play this so badly. I wonder if they're going to come out with the Final Fantasy 8 pack after this. Ooh. Oh. That's not English, but that's fine. This is in Japanese, but I want to get Mobius so bad now and play it. I'd stream Mobius. I would. But anyways, once you if you play the Final Fantasy map, you actually get to unlock Sephiroth's outfit and earn Sephiroth's class, because you also get character. Okay. You also get to unlock the characters' outfits as classes. You also get to be playing as the character as a class, so just like this. So you get to unlock Sephiroth class, so that's what it is. Ooh, nice gameplay. I'm guessing this is somebody else, because you can have at least a lot more characters. I think you get 3 characters. I'm not for sure. But then you defeat Sephiroth, I think. Instead of Cloud, you actually defeat Sephiroth. That's why I kind of compared it to Dragon Ball Xenoverse, because you pretty much go help all the main characters fight all these old battles from the Final Fantasy universe. This is more like Dissidia, except without Chaos or Spiritus, or any of the gods or goddesses. You're pretty much going in the Final Fantasy timelines. What? He's taking control of Cloud? Just like in the game! Just like when Cloud was possessed, but by, just like when Cloud was possessed and almost got Aeris. No! They brought that back? They brought that power back in this? Oh, damn! See, this is what Square Enix needs to keep doing. This is what we want. I hope they put that in the remake though, because Sephiroth did take control of Cloud using Genova cells that were in Cloud to make Cloud almost nearly kill Aeris. And I think he did possess Cloud to make Cloud give him the black materia, which led Cloud into further depression because he figured out he was controlled. That's why Sephiroth refers to him as a puppet, I think. That's why. I think that's why Sephiroth refers to him as a puppet. Oh, man. Oh, you have to fight both Cloud and Sephiroth? That's gonna be hard. Oh no, it's actually Cloud versus Sephiroth. Cloud snapped out of it finally. Oh, the Armor Slash! Oh, the Armor Slash! That is some sleek gameplay! Ah, damn! Woo! Something I don't like is death animation in this. I like the old school death animation where Sephiroth has blood dripping all over his body and then he blows up. That's more epic than this. I don't know why they toned it down. There's no need to tone it down, to be quite honest. But that's pretty sick. This makes me want to play Mobius a lot more now. I really want to play. But I think this is like the Final Fantasy VII remake collaboration thing. So I think they're gonna change things in the Final Fantasy VII remake. So we might be getting Sephiroth with the Cydia outfit rather than the original Final Fantasy VII outfit, from what I'm seeing. So Sephiroth may look kind of like this, but in more higher detail and higher graphics, since we're using Unreal Engine. And if you know, Unreal Engine is the same type of graphics engine that's used in Assassin's Creed games and Batman Arkham games. So they're probably gonna have a Dissidia Sephiroth, but with Unreal Engine in the Final Fantasy VII remake, from what I'm seeing, because this says Mobius Final Fantasy VII remake second collaboration map. So it's probably teasing out what's probably gonna happen in the Final Fantasy VII remake, which I really hope the final battle in that game is like the original, where Sephiroth bleeds and he blows up. I mean, that was awesome. That was epic. That was the most. I mean, I wish I could save it, but Square Enix is a stick up the ass when it comes to copyright. Well, meaning that for the PC version, you can't save Cloud in Sephiroth's final battle, but you could save all the battles you have with his forms, since they're technically not cutscenes. But yeah, it looks like that's more likely gonna happen. I really don't like the death scene. I'm not really impressed with Sephiroth's death scene in this, but I understand it's not the Final Fantasy VII remake. This is only a collaboration with Mobius, because Mobius, you're going to be going to all these Final Fantasy worlds look like it. That's why I said I compared it to Xenoverse, because, well, except the difference is you aren't really preparing any timeline of Mobius. You're just actually pretty much playing as the Mobius character, which is you, and you're going to help all these people fight stronger versions of all the Final Fantasy villains, from what I'm seeing. So, I mean, after they get done with the Final Fantasy VII Remake collab, which I think the reason why they're doing this is to promote the Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think after they get done with this stuff, they're going to probably make the Final Fantasy VIII map, and, where you can fight Ultimecia with Squall. But from what I see, it looks like you're just battling all the final villains. You're battling a bunch of the bosses, like three bosses from each universe, pretty much. And the final boss is pretty much the main villain from that game, or that part of the franchise, that game, And it's only going to be the main game. It's not going to be no spin-offs. So I don't think there's going to be no Dirge of Cerberus or Crisis Core maps in here, which I guess it's okay because you're only fighting the original characters. You're only fighting original bosses and everything. But I think the reason why they did the Final Fantasy VII collab first, my theory on that, the reason why they made the Final Fantasy VII remake collab is pretty much they're just trying to tease out Final Fantasy VII remake. But I really hope the death scene's not like this in the remake. I really hope they change it around in the actual remake. And this, it's okay because, well, this is a different game. In fact, Mobius is in its own universe. You're just going to different Final Fantasy universes, original Final Fantasy universe, with no spin-offs, helping the heroes fight all the bad guys in their world, because the bad guys are, in this world, the bad guys are stronger. So Sephiroth is even stronger in Mobius world than he is in the original Final Fantasy VII. So with that entail, it's only a collaboration, so I don't think this is going to actually be included in the Final Fantasy VII remake. I think this is just only for this game to tease and advertise, because that's what Square Enix does. They subliminally advertise things. Because even though Final Fantasy 15 wasn't really Versus 13. They actually kept some things of Versus 13, but changed the name around. If you really think about it, you know. And I've said that before in a video, and people still don't believe me, but it's like, they do that. Final Fantasy games are esoteric. Esoteric means is like a hidden meaning in things. They hiddenly put advertisements for their stuff. And have anyone played Deus Ex? Well, if you look at one of the building posters, it says Final Fantasy 30 something. I know, it's outrageous, but they advertise their stuff. They really advertise it. You know, they really advertise it, and if you look at the picture closely, it looks like a picture of Etro. The point I'm trying to say is that they advertise their stuff within their stuff. So, looks like we could be really seeing a version of Sephiroth that looks like the Dissidia in the remake. So, we're not going to get the original Sephiroth with the gravity-defying bangs as much as I'd like that. We're going to get like a more realistic Sephiroth, so we're probably going to get the Dissidia type, but with Unreal Engine, and he's going to look 10 times more realistic. And I hopefully he still be a badass like he still does, and hopefully he has the same powers he does in the original Final Fantasy VII. I mean, they better not change powers at all. That's the only thing I gotta say. You could cut out Dirge of Cerberus, Crisis Core, and Avid Children all you want and make a different interpretation. Just, I gotta beg that if you keep the powers the same, if you end up putting Vincent should have his transformation limit breaks. Yuffie should have her weapon limit breaks. Cloud should be able to do all his basic limit break attacks, you know. Tifa needs to have 7 Heaven as her final limit break. Sephiroth is going to be able to take control of Cloud, and then your party has to end up fighting Cloud, you know, which would be even better than the original, because in the original you don't fight Cloud at all when he's taken over. You just see him in a cutscene. I would actually like a boss fight where you have to pick one member of the party as your leader and fight Cloud until Cloud regains his, you know, senses. You know, I'm just saying, please keep the powers the same at least, because it would make more sense to me if they did that. You know, yeah, I think they would change how you get Barrett's limit break, because I'm not gonna lie, that train scene was way too hard, and if you missed it, you're gonna be breaking controllers, smashing controls, and screaming in the mic. You know, bloody murder. But nonetheless, this is pretty good. If you have a good PC that can run Steam games really good, you should buy Final Fantasy Mobius. You should buy Final Fantasy Mobius. More maps will be downloaded, but I think right now they only have the Final Fantasy 7 map, from what I know. So, yeah, I'll go download Final Fantasy Mobius. And it would give you good views to stream it, because it's its own game, you know. It's its own game. You pretty much, I don't know, this is more like a Disney ride, if you ask me. Final Fantasy Mobius is like a Disney ride, where you're riding into all the Final Fantasy worlds and fighting all the Final Fantasy villains, if you really look at it. It's kind of like the Star Tours of Star Wars, kind of. Kind of like that. Except you're playing as the character in Mobius, and you're going to these Final Fantasy worlds. I think they did this on purpose to advertise, because they do that. They advertise their stuff within their stuff. That's how they advertise their stuff. Their Final Fantasy, Square Enix knows business. Business is one of their biggest fortes, period, because they get you subliminally. They get you subliminally to buy their stuff by putting it within their games. So I'm going a little bit over time, and I think I just, went a little bit over. Sorry, I talked about a little bit of my life. I went into too much detail on this, and people don't like the extra detail, but I just, sorry about that. May the crystal be with you. I'm going to end this video. Still need to continue my DBZ marathon, and I'm going to start my X-Men marathon because Logan's coming in the theater. By the way, I'm wearing my X-Men workout t-shirt right there. Also, and this is also about to be about Anytime Fitness. There's no judgments. It's pretty cheap to work out there, and they got good stuff.
PlayStation